Generally, most of the people are intended to be helpful and useful to others, especially to their families, to meet their daily needs and to look after their expenditures in a proper way. But there are something which they might not contemplate or think about some important thing in their life. And person can be beneficial and wise and have pleasing qualities with him, but he might not have some good principles with him, and because of that he might face some problems later. Like that, if a business company is lacking some good principles with them, the business company might also face some unexpected problems. So so it's better to adapt more good moral principles in our life. Attitude is everything. A person should have a respectful good intention with him towards others. If a person reveals or shows disrespectful attitude towards others, it can be very much insulting and offensive thing to others. So he can avoid showing anger and disrespectful attitude. Generally, in this civilized and natural human living modern world, if anyone consumes or experiences something excessively or too much, can be harmful to them because it disrupts the balance and leads to negative consequences. If a person is a chain smoker and he smokes cigarettes excessively for many times in a day, the smoking habit will certainly impact problems to his body organs, and it will negatively affect his body health and well-being. If a person is smoking for many years, he or she may become a cancer patient. Cancer disease is very contagious and it's not easy to cure the cancer disease. It is hugely and highly expensive to cure cancer in recent days. If a person has a very strong desire to consume different varieties of alcohol and beer and wines and whiskeys regularly and very frequently, then his excessive consumption can cause harmfulness and injuries to his health. He or she might be negatively affected because of excessive consumption of alcohol. Generally, consuming something in moderation will not impact any problems. Only if we consume beyond a certain limit, we might be facing some problems. And we may not be able to solve the problem if we are not concerned about it. For example, if a person is carelessly consuming medications continuously for many months and years, it will certainly cause damage to his kidneys and stomach, and it might negatively affect his internal organs, and he might become weaker and lose his strength and capabilities to function effectively in a normal way. So it's not good to consume something beyond a certain limit in our daily life. When we control ourselves to avoid excess consumption, our body and its systematic internal functions get a good balance and effectiveness. If we consume food or beverages excessively, it has more possibilities to dehydrate our body, and our body will lose more water. So it's better to have or intake adequate or sufficient quantities of hygienic good food for the proper supplement of nutrition in our body, and to avoid our health problems, it's better to be with good limitations and avoid too much of consumption or experiences. We need to understand about adapting moderation in consuming or using anything and realize the areas where we have overindulged. It can be foods, drinks, leisure activities, or in the relationship that we indulge. The concept of moderation emphasizes to maintain balance and avoid extremes or excess in one's actions, thoughts, or behaviors. It suggests finding the right amount or degree of something, neither too much nor too little. Practicing moderation can induce or stimulate you to evaluate and examine deeply about your thoughts and feelings and find out the reason for your excessive consumption. And we should also consider our values and priorities so that we can keep ourselves in a good self-control and avoid careless behavior of excessive food consumption, and also avoid excessively using someone or something in our natural life. If a person shows excessive anger, it can negatively impact his physical and mental health. Uncontrolled anger can lead to anxiety, depression, increased risk of heart diseases, and prolonged anger can also negatively affect the memory, and a person may lose the focus towards his own duties and responsibilities due to too much of aggressiveness. Too much of anger expressions can also impact negativity. Involving in a conflict or argument with others will not be good to feel about one's personal character. Uncontrolled anger can also significantly increase your blood pressure level. So it's better to be a soft hearted person forever. Unmanaged anger can strain or create difficulties in maintaining the relationship with your family members, friends, co-workers in the working company, and it can also lead to conflicts and isolation. So it's good to control your anger and be a gentle person. If an athlete is practicing and working out too much of his time and not eating and sleeping well, then she or he might not be able to perform well, and they may show slower reaction and decreased mental sharpness. And if they deprive sufficient good food or avoid sleeping regularly, they may face chronic sleep disorders, and it can increase the risk of injuries. Eventually, it will negatively impact their overall physical and mental health. So an athlete should divide his time properly and maintain a good balance with physical performances and quality food consumption and sleeping durations to be a successful athlete. If a person is excessively masturbating, then he might face huge difficulties after the typical activities. Uncontrolled masturbation habits without sensitive limitations can lead to negative consequences such as urinary tract infection, skin irritation, and relationship problems and conflicts, body weight loss, abnormal function of the kidneys and liver, and other internal organs. Masturbation is naturally healthy, but if you do it excessively and frequently, you will become weaker and unhealthy, and you might face risky problems, and it's very difficult to cure it. So it's better to be very much sensitive and wise and very much reasonable in doing masturbation to avoid problems. Nowadays, young people are most probably and importantly started using digital products for entertainment and communication and working purposes. In this modern world, human beings became more dependable on digital products. There are both advantages and disadvantages because of frequently using digital gadgets or items. Digital items are helping to use internet technology for personal and official reasons and for simplifying the work process in a smart and sophisticated way. But excessive usage of digital products has its disadvantages that we human beings need to realize, because excessive screen focusing time can negatively impact both physical and mental health. Focusing on digital screens for extended access time duration can reduce the power of your natural eyes. Staring at screens for extended periods of time can strain the eyes, causing fatigue and discomfort. It might also cause neck, shoulder, and back pain, obesity. The blue light emitted from screens can interfere with melatonin production, making it harder to fall asleep and affecting sleep quality, and you might not get deep sleep. You might not able to sleep deeply for 8 hours, 10 hours in a day. Children who spend too much of time on screen for entertainment may experience delays in cognitive development, including problem solving and learning skills. It can negatively impact attention span, memory, and information processing speed, and leads to cognitive impairment. Excessive screen time has been linked to increased anxiety and depression, as well as other mental health issues like social anxiety and behavioral problems. We need to adapt right strategies and good patience to balance the screen time with other activities in the day, which can be challenging, but it is beneficial. With the rise of social media and video games, our children's screen time is at risk of spiraling out of control. Parents can effectively limit or reduce the screen time of their beloved children, which can encourage their children to focus on creative tasks and academic responsibilities. And it can also help to reduce distractions. Design a screen time free area in the home, such as the living room or kitchen, and make sure everyone follows the rule. Create no screens during meals rule, as this encourages family interactions. You can try to replace your child's screen time with physical activities inside the house, and it's better to be concerned about the safety of your children. There are fun indoor games to keep your kids happy, entertained, and active. Some popular fun indoor games for kids are playing chess, carom board, scavenger hunt, obstacle course, giant game board, dance party, classic childhood games, tag team puzzles, animal walks, friendly fitness competitions, balloon volleyball,
All these indoor games can make your kids more engaging and memorable. Making your kid to play chess can develop strategic thinking in their mind, and it also improves the analytical skills, and it also enables your kids to approach new challenges with a more thoughtful and calculated mindset. We can generate interest in the mind of our kids to read useful books and newspapers, which can help kids develop basic language skills and profoundly expand their vocabularies and nourish their imaginative skills. Finally, create rewards for following the screen time rules, such as special beneficial gift, special outing, making their favorite dinner, etc. So it's better to reduce the time of focusing on digital screens such as smartphones, computer and laptop screens, electronic tablets, television screens, cinema theater screens. We need to focus on digital screens by keeping the digital device in a safe distance for a limited time duration in a day, which is logically correct. When a person is overdoing something or overdoing with someone, it can affect the individual decision making and lead to negative consequences. You might make wrong decisions and eventually become unsuccessful in your life. You can try to make good friends and consume good quality of foods and maintain your health and wealth in a proper way by adapting or following the proverb, too much of anything is good for nothing, so that you can avoid difficult situations and conditions in your life. Self-control is a mantra. If you are sensitive with the word called self-control, you can win in your life. You can achieve success. You should not talk too much. You should not eat too much. You should not sleep too much. You should not appreciate or praise someone too much. You should not scold someone too much. You should not advise someone too much. You should not walk or run too much. You should not do too much of physical exercises, because that can lead to physical and psychological problems and injuries, tiredness, mood changes, and it can also impact serious health issues, and it can cause muscle soreness, and it can also decrease the performances. If we adapt or follow self-control in our life and avoid too much of anything, then surely our life will be delightful and meaningful. You can define your beautiful journey of life by adapting self-control and limitations, and you can be clever in making your choices to live your legacy in a sensitive way. If you are aspiring to do bigger things, then strictly you need to avoid too much of having or doing anything. Then only you can achieve your ambitions and career goals and objectives. Our life is like a practical experiment. So when you crave or desire to be a perfect gentleman and genuinely an easygoing person, you must follow the proverb, too much of anything is good or better or best for nothing. If you want to become hugely successful and want to be a reflection of having a promising career and moving in a progressive path, then you must adapt the proverb, too much of anything is good for nothing, on a daily basis. Your plans and ideas could work out well when you avoid going beyond certain decent limitations. Your plans and ideas could work out effectively and efficiently. It's better to avoid wasting too much of food or money or your valuable time, because wasting something or anything which is useful and resourceful will not be good and wise to pursue. So kindly don't abandon or give up your own limitations in anything that you have or do in your daily life. For example, if your age is above 40, you need to be very much concerned about your health. You need to be very much sensitive in your daily life. You need to consume sugarless foods and beverages if you have diabetes inside you. If you want to reverse back your diabetes, you need to eat only perfectly suitable good foods, but not unsuitable foods, which can increase the risk of your health by raising the blood sugar levels beyond a normal level. So it's better to have limitations and avoid unsuitable foods. The root cause for diabetes is because of consuming too much of sweetened foods and processed foods, which are not healthy to ourselves. Too much quantity of coffee or tea is also not good for our health. You can have a very limited quantity of coffee or tea to avoid health problems and weight losses. Your careful consumption of food will decide your own potential stability and your genuine capabilities of maintaining strength and efficiency. The proverb, too much of anything is good for nothing, means that even things that are beneficial can become harmful if they are taken in excessive amounts. It highlights the importance of moderation and balanced living. The proverb exaggerates how important it is for people to adapt moderation for a positive good life. While some things are desirable, overdoing them can lead to negative consequences. This ethical principle can be applied to various aspects of life, including food eating, physical activities, relationships, emotions, and possessions. Finding the right balance between different aspects of life is crucial or very important for well being. Excessive indulgence and benevolence and manifesting too much of generosity and extreme deprivation from possessing or enjoying or using something can also lead to problems. So, it is better to follow the proverb too much of anything is good for nothing in every aspect of our meaningful good life in this natural green planet. Thank you.